Well, hello, my fellow sensitive people. Thank you so much for tuning in to me, the Oracle of Whimsy. I'm here to give you a whimsical interpretation of the political events. A lot of eyes right now are on Syria. Syria has fallen. It has fallen to rebels that are similar, that have received funding from some Middle Eastern countries. They're hostile to Iran. They're hostile to the East, but they also have links to Al Qaeda. So whether or not the border with Syria is less stable with Israel right now, I would say it is less stable than it was under Assad because this is one of the questions people had asked because Assad was a secular dictator who controlled with an iron fist, and he did not want his country going to war with the Israelis. He didn't want to because he knew that that the Israelis would bomb Damascus, etc. So he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that there was no major retaliation. Right? Well, maybe under the table he might be helping Hamas and other groups that were hostile to Israel. So now we have anarchy in a sense because you have all these different groups running around. You don't necessarily have a working government. So Israel goes in and they bomb all of the Navy, Air Force, weapons supplies, chemical weapons, etc. of Assad for fear that these rebel groups would get a hold of them and start bombing Israel with them. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the Empath prayer. It feels like Biden is leaving in the middle of, it almost feels like World War III, and a lot of people are very scared, and rightly so. Is everything going to be okay? Is it the right decision if somebody like Trump negotiates peace with Russia? Does that mean that Russia can continue to threaten the West? Does this mean the weakening of NATO? Let's go ahead and take a look. Thank you for joining. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also, happy holidays to everyone. Happy holidays to everyone. And let you all know we do sell gift cards. They're discounted tickets for the holidays if you'd like a reading. All right, let's do the empath's prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Yes, so what it felt like to me when I have looked at this energy was that there was no deal that could be struck between the United States and Iran, the United States and Russia, because it would only be strengthening regimes that are hostile to the West. So if we did a deal with them and they made more money, that money would be going to rebuild their military, which is what happened when we began having business with China. The money went to the Chinese military. And so we were basically strengthening our enemies with these American contracts. So it felt to me when I went into this energy like I was more a hawk than a dove in the sense that there is no deal to be made with Putin because Putin threatens the West. And so therefore, if you're looking at the best objective, if you're asking me to scan it objectively as a remote viewer, what will be the outcome if we have peace right now with Russia? trade resumes, and then they rearm themselves, and nothing has changed. And now they have even more hostility towards the West. But now they've got weapons. So retaliation maybe happens in a few years. So then they try again in a few years because now they've got the weapons, but the mentality hasn't changed. So you scan the grid and you have them remove Putin from power and put somebody in there that is willing to have a viable peace solution and trade. That would be the ideal, whether or not the West can control for that. But it felt to me like there was no way as a remote viewer that we could go forward with Putin in power in Russia, that the only solution is that the West had to remove Putin and replace him with somebody that was not a war hawk. And the same was true for Iran. When you go into the energy of Iran and Khamenei, who's now 85 years old, his position on the West is that Israel is little Satan and America is big Satan. So if you open up trade or you remove sanctions, you're basically strengthening your enemy, who will then fund proxy armies, Hezbollah, Hamas, etc., Islamic Brotherhood, perhaps. The point is that the only thing you've done is you've given yourself peace for a couple of years, and then you've allowed the enemy to rearm with the profits from doing business with you. And so the same conclusion, when you look at it objectively, is that Iranian leadership has to fall. All right, let's look at Syria first. Just 4 cards. The future of Syria. Joy and happiness right now. So it's armistice. It's a celebration. People are dancing in the streets. The opposition to Syria, that would be Assad, is making deals. So Assad is attempting to create contracts and liaisons with people who are going to support him, Iran, Russia, etc. Can he regroup? Can they bring in an army to liberate? So he's talking about not giving up. He's talking about possibly trying to regroup. The other thing is this 2 of Cups opposition would indicate that possibly Israel, the opposition, there could be some kind of a treaty here with the opposition. And that Israel just oversees that Druze village, maybe takes in the Kurds. The hopes and fears, business. So the economic incentives, for example, Israel wants the water of the Golan Heights is a business venture. Tiberias, right? We have sardines out of Tiberias, right? Oh, I want to go back so bad. I miss Israel. All right. So Queen of Pentacles. So concerns about economic impact on the area, famine in winter, if trade doesn't resume, etc. And final outcome is the Queen of Hearts, which indicates they are vulnerable. They know they are vulnerable. But again, we don't want to be arming our enemies. At the same time, winter is coming and we don't want famine in Syria. So you have that Queen of Hearts coming in, I think. A massive growth in infrastructure as international companies begin to do business with Syria now that the sanctions have been lifted. I see that. Celebration of good times. Many people want to return back to the new Syria. There's a star over Syria. And then the final outcome for Syria is great wealth and development will come. They're working on some kind of a parliamentary system, it looks like. Sanctions have been lifted, and we see massive infrastructure. Eight of Wands, rapid change. Ace of Pentacles, massive money coming in so long as they agree not to be hostile with Israel. Maybe they'll be part of the Abraham Accords. Yeah. All right. So then the next is we're going to take a look at Iran. See, it's not all bad. All right, now we're going to take a look at the future of Iran. Is Khamenei stable, or are they going to finally take out Khamenei? Khamenei. The future of Khamenei and Khamenei's Iran. Wealth, concentrated wealth of the families and inheritance. It's interesting because the Shah of Iran is an inherited position. And you have inheritance. The inheritance, what one has inherited. So the people want the Shah back. A large percentage want the Shah back. The opposition, it's moving very quickly. So instead of attacking Israel, you could have proxy armies now attacking Iran for Israel. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You're Shia, they're Sunni. Hey, sorry it didn't work out. The opposition is moving quickly. It could indicate they're at the gates. So it speaks to this wobbly that Iran is falling, that its regime is falling. The hope and fear, the King of Cups, that's the Shah's son. And then the final outcome is Four of Pentacles. The sanctions really hurt them. The sanctions really hurt them. Yeah, Four of Pentacles is poverty, and it can be miserly energy. It's karma. It's what came to them. It's kind of, I just think the Shah's son is going to come back in. They want to return to their old laws, which they say their laws were suppressed by the new government. This is a war card. I think that the Shah, people that support the Shah are going to create a rebellion against this government, the Khamenei, because they are loyal to the Shah, and I believe that they will win. The healing is coming to Iran. Look at that war with the Shah's son. A war comes. It's the karma of a family inheritance. All right, so then the next question we're looking at has to do with the Ukraine war. What is going on with Putin? Is Putin becoming increasingly isolated? Yes. Is he afraid that his own people are going to assassinate him? Absolutely, 100%. But is it true? Can Putin look to China for help? Probably not if they're asking for North Korea's help, right? That could be because they got a cold shoulder from China. China doesn't want to be in the middle of this, right? She doesn't want to be in the middle of this. Okay, so let's take a look. Here is Putin's cards. Three of Wands. So he's looking beyond his current situation. Again, this is trade. With Putin, it's always been about trade. He wants his trade. He wants to get his trade out. It's always been about trade. It was about the loss of trade in Ukraine. It was about the loss of the oil and the port, etc. So Three of Wands is your ships are coming in, they're going out, you're looking at your trade. So he fixates on it. He fixates on it. His opposition is walking away from everything. So it could be that Zelensky has to give up something like Crimea. He may have to accept the fact that there's going to be some kind of permanent position of Russia in some location. that they may exchange land because Ukraine is inside Russia now. But with this card coming in, Eight of Cups, it could indicate that they have to renege something. The hopes and the fears being tied up. So Putin is very aware of the fact that people are tying him up, that he is being controlled. They're trying also legally to the best of their ability to control him. And the final outcome for him, warring, strife, things changing very, very rapidly for Putin. The sun is coming out over his situation. His opposition will be victorious in war. Ace of Swords is the victory card of war. It also comes in January. So we could see massive aggressive retaliation on the part of Ukraine in January, before the changing of the guards for the presidency in the United States, with that aggressive Ace of Swords coming in. And then the hopes and fears, the devil. And then the final outcome, mastery. I just think that he will be isolated. I think Putin will be isolated. He has to feel like he has some control. He has to feel like he wrote this peace proposal, like that Eight of Pentacles, like he hammered out the deal to save face, to make it look like he didn't lose this thing. Yeah. The deal. You can't let it go. It's like an addiction. Interesting that all these men of power all have psychopathic personalities, of course, because you have to be a bit of a psychopath to do what they do. But the other thing you see with these megalomaniac billionaires is that they all have drug addiction, and that's because they're big babies and there's nobody there to say no to them. And as soon as somebody says no to them, they're removed with a sycophant that gives them whatever they want. And that is why the narcissist often dies from drug overdoses, because they're babies and they want and they want and they want and they want and they want, and they're going to get the doctor that's going to give them what they want. All right, I'm just going to check now to see what Biden is planning next. Is Biden going to contend? Is he going to argue this election was stolen? Or is he going to, are the Democrats going to accept the election results? Contest, yes. Is he going to contest the election? Good seeing you all here, and good morning. Feels good. It's a good morning. All right, Biden. What is going on with Biden? His first card is the devil. For whatever reason, he doesn't feel that he can contest the election, because the devil is to be trapped, codependent. For whatever reason, he feels that he is stuck. The opposition, Trump's card, is he was victorious. He made it happen, the magician. The hope and fear for Biden at this time, Ace of Cups, that the nation is being torn apart. Ace of Cups is a love card, that we've lost our love for each other, our compassion, our empathy. And the final outcome for Biden, he will defend the land. He is defending the United States. So again, this speaks to the possibility of war, or that we could be attacked on U.S. soil, either attacked by violent anarchist groups or individual anarchists like the CEO that was assassinated. But it feels Seven of Wands is to defend one's territory or one's position. The clarification for Biden, building something new. So I don't see his green economy being changed. His opposition is moving very quickly. His hope and his fear is the truth coming out, that we've lost sight of the truth. And the final outcome for Biden in his presidency, patience. Have faith and patience in the things that I have built here. That is his message to the people. So we know that he has contracts going until like 2035, right? For rebuilding the nation, putting the nation on track. And great infrastructure, right? Even though Pete is leaving, right? So Pete is leaving, and we have new people coming in for transportation secretary, etc. But this is the card of patience and diligence and building new things. And so I feel like there will be great infrastructure in the United States in the coming years. All right. I want to thank you all for watching. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find the information below. Also, check out our gift cards. They are on sale if you'd like to give one for the holidays. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, loves. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for your support.